Hello there, thank you for joining me. Today I'm continuing on my quest for different ways of colouring water, and I'm going to be using colour pencils for this one. I wanted to show a reflection of a sunset in this picture, and I've started on that side, and I'm going to do what I've done there on this side now, and then I will continue. This is from the new Selina Fenech colouring book called Mermaid Magic. So I hope you'll enjoy this. I'm going to zoom in closer to the water. I just wanted to give you an overview, and I am using my Caran D'ache Luminance pencils for this. So it's the first image I'm colouring in this book, and I hope you'll enjoy it. I'm taking first some of the colours that I've used in the fiery sky to put in as reflection, and the yellow is, I can't pronounce the names, they're quite difficult to see. It's number 820. I think it says golden bismuth yellow. And then I'm also using this orange, which is dark cadmium orange, and then it's got an MT in brackets, and it's number 533. So I bought the Etsy book, so it's the PDF file, so I've printed it again. It's just on some cardstock, and the name of this particular image is called Collecting Shells. And I'm lightly going over some of the areas here and letting them go out a bit. And then those that look sort of like dark pools, I'm doing in the darker orange. So I'm going to do this one as well. This is one of my first attempts at doing a kind of a sun reflection on water, and I've always wanted to try it. So I hope it works out nicely. I don't think there's any dark pool there. Perhaps this little bit here of a pool. And I sort of, when you look at water, sometimes the reflection goes wider and narrower. It's not always all that exact. And also for this water, you'll notice that I'm colouring in a kind of a horizontal manner, because the waves come forward and it's always horizontal. It's not, one wouldn't colour like this because you want to give the right feeling of movement in the water. Oopsie. Except, of course, for little areas where one needs to be fairly precise next to the hair or something, so that you don't go over the lines. And I've been wondering with these wings if I should try and make them transparent, or if I should just colour them as wings. I'll come to some decision somewhere along the line. I'm also going over some of these lines with some of the darker orange. Just going to do another layer. I often go over with the darker colour with the yellow as well. I've said this before, but I absolutely love yellow. It always brightens everything up. Unfortunately, you'll see little, maybe you won't, but little black specks. The printing often peels off. I think it's my printer. I just printed this on my home printer. I often take things down to we've got a place called Postnet where they do printing as well. And I often take things off there to get them printed so that it's done with their expensive big printing machines. Now I've got this lighter one, which is called Primrose, and it's number 242. This paper, this cardstock, is fairly smooth. There we are. Now I'm using a huge collection of blues. I've got the darkest one is number 159. The next darkest is 162. That's phthalo blue. The darkest one is Prussian blue. Then a greeny turquoisey blue, which is called light malachite green, and it's number 181. And then this one is called light blue, and it's number 161. And this one is called light cobalt blue, and it's 661. So this is the collection of blues that I'm using. Just going to have a sip of my tea. And there's nothing that I particularly need to say as I'm coloring this. So, oh yes, what I did want to say is that I'm trying to sort of work with the idea of from darker to lighter as we come forward, because the deeper water tends to be darker, but I'm also giving little spots of light, which could be reflection, or just when you look at the sea, it often has like areas that are lighter. When we were on holiday, we were looking out at the sea, and I was staring at it from our window and thinking about coloring it all the time and noticing things like that. So that's my reason behind doing it this way. And our artist has given us these lines as well to work around. When I did the coloring with the markers, I didn't work so much around the lines because it's a bit darker. I mean, not darker, that's the wrong word. It's a bit more difficult for me with markers to do things like that. But with pencils, one does have that control. Now here I am going vertically, but just around the wing to make sure I don't go into the lines. And here I want to just carry this through into the sunset as a little line, and as that blue goes onto the yellow, sort of turns a green, which is interesting. And then I'm going to go in with the aqua color, the malachite, and color that over there. So I don't really, as you know, I've never studied art or anything like that, so I don't really have reasons for what I'm doing. Kind of things I look at and an intuitive feeling of what I want to do, and none of this is a rule, okay? It's just me coloring and enjoying it and sharing it with you. With that in mind, I will link this book to the Amazon link in the more information underneath this video. And if you're interested in buying it, it would really help me such a lot if you'd consider following the link. It is an associate link to Amazon, and it gives me a couple of cents. I don't think it's even $1 for every time you purchase something following a link, but it doesn't cost you any different. So if you followed the link and then decided you didn't want to follow the link and went via just searching it, you would see that the price is exactly the same. So it's just something that really helps the channel. I'm now going into the next darkest blue, this number 162. And so I'm kind of playing around between them. I'm not following any set pattern. To me, they're both quite dark blues. This one that is called the 162, the phthalo blue, is a brighter blue, and I think just a little bit more interesting than the Prussian blue, so I use it as well as the Prussian blue. I've had these Caran D'ache Luminance pencils for ages. Well, I've been buying them. I don't have the full set. I think I showed you at one stage. I followed a Colouring Bliss. I'm one of the Bliss partners, so I pay them an amount every month, and then it gives one various really nice things that you can use, including this Caran D'ache Luminance swatch chart where all the numbers are on there. And you can see I'm still lacking some numbers. I've sort of swatched out, and bit by bit I'm filling up my collection. I've been building this collection for the last 4 years, I think. So I don't use them very often because they're so jolly expensive, but they're really beautiful pencils. Again, just the edge that I want to fill in. I'm not sure if I'm going to go over these marks with a white gel pen, white gouache, or white Posca, or not, or if I might go over them with a dark blue Posca or something. Of the lines, I like the lines. I think they give the movement. I could go over them again with a black micron pen or something. So I'm going to carry this on with this next bit here and just put some music on for you. I may speed it up, we'll see. So as you can see, I've carried on quite a bit off camera and finished the other side of the water here. I've gone over these dark lines with a white Posca pen. I used this 0.9 to 1.3 millimeter PC3M bullet shaped Posca white to do that, and I finished the water on this side. I've tried to show the breaking waves. I used a white Posca for that, and there are breaking waves here as well, so I can show you how I did that. And I've tried to go lighter, but still with pools of different color, as happens in the water when one looks at waves. But before I carry on with that, I wanted to ask you guys, do you, in whichever country you live, ever use or have these kind of, I don't know what to call them, we call them rusks in South Africa. They're dried out, not overly sweet, but sweet-ish biscuits that we dunk in our coffee or tea and eat, and I love having them for breakfast. If you do have anything like that in your country, please tell me in the comments and tell me which country and what you call them there. I'd really love to know. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on with coloring this page. I'm going to zoom in on the water. So I'm just alternating colors, doing some of the deep pools and some of the lighter colors, and just gently coloring in the lines that the artist has given us. I'm afraid the color of this video is not quite what it looks like on my actual image. I don't quite know what happened with the lighting. I think it's probably as I zoomed in. So I looked at the white of the paper and considered leaving that, and then decided I will, and I'll see how that goes. And now I'm getting to the first wave, and I want the water behind the wave, behind that crest of the wave, to be the darker color, and then some of the lines going up to the crest of the wave, and then underneath that. And I'm trying to sort of, again, like one colors hair, almost curve the lines as they're going up into the crest of the wave. And then I put some of the lines at the top coming down as well in a kind of a curvy way, just to give that feeling of movement. And then I do go over it all with Posca at the end, because I like the kind of the white foaminess that the Posca ends up giving it. But this does work to a certain extent. I think I'm not enough of an artist to get it to work fully, but I think that's the general idea. And I'm going under where, I think you call it the tube of the wave, underneath that crest of the wave. The next wave is a better wave to actually get the shape on. Again, going with the deeper color behind it, the deeper and the bright. I've got this deep Prussian blue, and then the brighter, I've forgotten what color blue it's called again. And I'm just trying to make the colors not altogether flat, so that the colors are changing and therefore giving that sense of movement in the water. I need to change colors again. I've added an extra blue here, but I'm afraid I couldn't really see what color it was very well. But I don't think, if you're desperate to know, then I'll try and have another look. Please ask. But basically, just play around with all the blues you have in whatever kind of pencils you decide to be using. And again, now with this wave, I've gone in. I've tried to make the movement of the water horizontal and towards where the wave is going, and then I'm trying to do the curling of with intentional almost brush strokes with my pencil to get the top of the curl. And then I'm going in with the more turquoisey aqua color, because often where the waves are curling over, either they're very nice and frothy and white, or otherwise they're that sort of aqua color because the light's catching. Where the light catches, there's always that beautiful reflection, and I don't know if I'm going to try and put some sparkles on the water or something. We'll see. And I'm trying to blend this out a little bit with my white pencil. And I think I haven't got, I'm sorry I knocked my camera, I'm sorry, I haven't got a lot more to say here, so I'm going to put some more music on. And I'll speed it up a little bit, not a lot, in case you really want to watch, but I just don't want the video to be too... And so we've nearly finished this little side part of water, which I'm using, again, a directional approach in my colouring. And now I'm going to blend out the pencil part that I've just done that doesn't have the white Posca on. I used this blending solution as well before I used the Posca last time. I'm using a blending stump to apply it, and it's called Zest. I don't think it's available from Amazon.com. I know you can get it at Amazon UK. I bought mine from Amazon.com about 3 years ago, and it's already finished, but any pencil blending solution works well. I didn't feel like doing more layers. I've already spent about 3 hours or 4 hours on the sea, so I kind of wanted to blend it out now, and then I find that the little blending stumps apply the blending solution quite well. I like the Zest because it's non-toxic. I'm so sorry my lighting is flashing a bit. I shouldn't zoom in with the camera. I think it doesn't enjoy doing that too much. Now I'm going over little bits after using the blending solution just to brighten it up a little bit more. Sometimes goes a bit dull after that because it spreads the pigment right into the tooth of the paper and it all soaks in, and then I add some more on top of that, only in some places where I see it needs it. And in some of the little holes, the little circles that have been drawn by the artist, I add dark pencil for little dark pools, and some of them I will put white Posca on for sort of bits of white foam. I think you can just use your imagination and do what you feel like doing. So you can sort of see the effect of that wave without the Posca, with just the white pencil, and it's okay, but I think the Posca gives it a little bit more oomph, a little bit more get up and go. I'm a theatre girl who likes zhuzh in her productions, and I like a bit of zhuzh in my colouring as well, I think. So this is double speed. This is not that fast. It's at, well, yeah, I don't know. I think it's double speed. I do wish I could colour at that speed. Wouldn't it be wonderful if one could do that? Anyway, here's the Posca pen, and I'm going to just go over the lines and sort of finish it up. Always one needs to shake that Posca pen just to get the paint flowing nicely, and you can see that I just basically colour with it, and I do some little bit dabs and dashes and things just to kind of give it some marks. I'm using a lot of the lines that the artist gave because I just think they're useful, and she drew them there for a reason, so I think it's a good idea to use them. It's up to you whether you want to or not. But oh, I do love the sea, I must say. I look at the waves and I just feel like going to the seaside again. We're going to the sea. We're not going to be staying right at the sea again, unfortunately, but in mid-November we're going to be spending a few days at the seaside, and then we'll go back to our favourite place that's right on the sea again for a week. Does my soul so much good to be at the seaside. But I think this Posca on the sea livens it up. You can see the two different sides, and I really do think it helps. And it looks like a bit of a windy day. We always call them white caps when there are bits of wind on the water like that, although this mermaid looks very peaceful, so I'm not sure. But we're coming to the end of our picture now. Well, not of our picture, of this workshop on colouring water. And there's one more that I'm going to add, and that will be using oil pastels to colour water. So I just need to find a nice picture to do, and that will be part 3. Then please tell me in the comments, give me some ideas of other things you'd like me to show you how I colour. If there's something that you think would be fun for the channel for me to colour, I'll do my best to show you how I do it, if it's something I have done. And I really hope that you'll let me know, because it's very helpful to know that I'm doing things that people want to watch. I just want to let you all know how very much I appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for watching and for spending this time with me. And I'm quite happy with how this water turned out. I think it's looking okay. So now we're going to zoom out and see the picture as a whole, and you can get a good idea of how the water looks, and then at the end of the month I'll show you the completed picture. So there she is, our mermaid on the shiny water. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now and have a lovely week.